Hand Mike Pence, 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 hand Mike Pence. Hand Mike Pence, handing Mike Pence here. We're about to hand Mike some pens. Hey, how you doing? Ladies and gentlemen, it is I, your local humble hander of Mike the Pens, and Mike Pence. Of course, we know that this all is in reference to January 6, 2021, when we gathered at our nation's capital to make sure that the vice president had a pen to successfully sign off on the transfer of power as had gone on for many generations before and shall continue for many generations into the future. Democracy is fragile. Because, of course, they weren't saying hand Mike Pence. I'm being facetious. They were saying hang Mike Pence. Hang Mike Pence, who was the vice president under the 45th president at the time. I believe when reached for comment, the sitting president said, well, I guess they're upset, or something to that effect. Nothing along the lines of they're wrong for demanding the death of my vice president. Nothing along the lines of I stand with my vice president. He is executing his oath of office, and or nothing like that. But let's not talk about that 45th guy. I'm frankly sick of it. I'd much rather just take an introspective journey with you, my fellow hand Mike Penzers, on the trail of hypocrisy. And it's just something that I think if you were to really look at in the eye, you would have a harder time denying it. And as you can see from our background here, I've supplied some examples of utter hypocrisy, just downright cognitive dissonance. And so let's start from the top. Of course, we have football man Colin Kaepernick. I don't watch organized sports. I'm very happy for people who can find their joy in that spectator activity. Like, it's great. Good for you. Go Broncos, go Cardinals, go Patriots. Whatever. Go Chargers. Fine. Who cares? In any event, Colin Kaepernick was, whatever level of a football man, and he was originally just sitting on the bench when they did the national anthem. And eventually a soldier asked him to please not do that because it's disrespectful to the troops who have fought and died for this country, for his right to stand or not stand for the national anthem. And he asked him to take a knee, be a little bit more respectful, and he did. Because the guy is making a point about police brutality. He was protesting police brutality. And he had a big platform, and he was choosing to say anything at all. And he was demonized for it, deeply and repeatedly. And notwithstanding about his football career, who cares? He's not to take a stand against police brutality at its very core is humanist. So whether he's mistaken or not, at least he's on the right side of being mistaken. Wouldn't you rather take steps to prevent cruelty as opposed to enforce cruelty? Because when you enforce cruelty, the hierarchies that are in place for you to impose cruelty onto somebody will one day invert, and you will be the subject of that cruelty. Karmically speaking, I'm not anybody special. Anyway, so football man, bad because he did the take a knee. Now, on the other hand, blood money billionaire from apartheid South Africa, Elon Musk, did the Nazi salute twice at the presidential inauguration rally to the president. Well, once towards the crowd and once towards the president, right? And we can't even get consensus to what this motion is. And it's a Nazi salute. He did it twice. And he's done a whole bunch of, and not just him, but the 45th guy too, directly parallel to Nazi Germany stuff. And I'm not going to waste any more time. That's hypocritical. This is triggering you, and this is a misunderstanding. He has autism. I can make a million excuses for that to not be what it so obviously is, and I'm going to make up an entire fictional narrative about how this guy taking a knee is equivalent to shooting a baby in the face. Okay. Since we're on the topic of death, let's move on to the summer of 2020, right? Was it 2020? Yeah, it must have been 2020. Pandemic and everything. Where George Floyd was murdered by Officer Derek Chauvin, who had 19 years of complaints of brutality on his record before this incident. For the record, yeah, George Floyd had a troubled past as well. He allegedly had been on drugs and all sorts of shit. But if you're trying to say that the man who had 3 police officers on his back for 10 minutes until he died should have complied, and then this young lady, Ashley Babbitt, who had a gun pointed at her as she was breaking and entering into the halls of Congress, while an armed officer ordered her to stop or he'll shoot, and she continued to break the law and was shot. Somehow, this woman is a martyr and a hero for our cause, who absolutely should not have complied. George Floyd should have complied. That's why he is dead. He's gone because he should have complied harder. Ashley Babbitt's family is suing the government for many millions of dollars for her wrongful death. That was 100% her fault. I mean, unless you'd like to extend blame to the authority figures that perpetually filled this woman's head with propaganda and invoked violence in their name from their followers. But what do we know about that? I mean, when did that even happen? Oh, right. That happened on January 6, 2021, when there was an insurrection, a coup attempted on the capital of this country, where these insurrectionists chanted, "Hang Mike Pence, the vice president," and then forced their way into the building where the vice president was. No, those are peaceful protesters. Now, on the other hand, Black Lives Matter, they literally burned cities down, except for there's no record of that. There is no record of that. Yes, buildings burned, businesses lost money, insurance policies went up. But it is a false narrative to say that Black people got angry and burned down the cities that they lived in. You are intentionally not listening to reality, to your fellow human beings, to your brothers and sisters. And so for our final piece of hypocrisy, I would like to, of course, read the poem. Because first they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. By the way, I am a trade unionist, and Elon Musk and his millions and millions of dollars have just gotten a ruling from a Fifth Circuit court that the NLRB, the National Labor Relations Board, is unconstitutional. In this case, is going to go to the Supreme Court. And if the Supreme Court holds up the decision that the NLRB is unconstitutional, well, let's just say that Project 2025 plainly and in English stated their intention to weaken and destroy the unions of this country because they don't care about us. They are trying to get as much money as they can before they do whatever it is. Get the fuck out of here. I don't know, cause World War III and an apocalypse. I don't know what they could possibly be working towards, but I know that they need your support, not mine. I don't support them. You do. You're supporting them. When you're telling me that I'm mistaken about this Nazi salute and I need to be more concerned about the guy kneeling, when you're saying that the guy with the police officers on his back extinguishing his last breath from his body should have complied harder, and the lady who refused to comply is a hero. You're being hypocrites. You'll notice I didn't even touch the Epstein stuff, right? Right? What is it going to take before the evidence of what's going on is just unbearable? Like, where is your line? Think about it. Think on it. But until then, this is Hand Mike Pens. Hand and Mike Pens. We just hand Mike some pens.